Oh my gosh, this has been like the most shocking and surprising Miss USA in a long time. I don't even know where to start. Okay, so first of all, let's just begin with the production value. I loved the stage. I loved the staging. I loved T-Pain's performance. I loved the intro of the contestants, the outfits that they were wearing. It was all good. It was all beautiful and everyone looked amazing. So that was great. Um, yeah, no, the whole production value was great, and I loved Nick and Vanessa Lachey. I think they're amazing hosts. They are spontaneous, they are comfortable, they take pageantry seriously. Obviously, Vanessa's a former Miss Teen USA, so it's just great to have hosts like that who know what they're doing and who are considerate, and that was fantastic. Okay, so we start with the top 15. Now, in terms of my predictions, I got 9 out of 15 right, so that's kind of okay, but I was really shocked. The top 15 were Florida, New Mexico, Arkansas, Ohio, Oklahoma, Iowa out of nowhere. I was not expecting Iowa at all. Minnesota, District of Columbia, Louisiana, North Carolina, Kansas, Pennsylvania, so happy for her, Maryland, and Hawaii. Hawaii, I wasn't expecting as well. That's another surprise. Like, okay. And so then we went into the swimsuit competition, which was fantastic. I loved the whole production. It just looked expensive. It looked high brow, so it looked really, really good. And I think I was impressed by everyone's energy. I didn't really like Hawaii at the end. I thought that she was just very, very lackluster. I Yeah, she must have had a great interview because her stage presence isn't great. She doesn't really bring much. I loved Pennsylvania. She had a lot of attitude. She had a lot of sass and all that stuff, and that was great. But before that, yeah, I wanted to say Texas, New Jersey, not in the top 15. What a shock. So what does that mean? It means Texas. With Texas, it means her interview wasn't good, or there's something wrong with her sincerity. Like the judges might feel she's not being sincere or something, because she was really good on stage. She's got a great profile, she's got a great resume, and so for her to not make the top 15, which is a big deal for Texas, to not, yeah, not even place, it just shows that in terms of sincerity they might have had some issues. That's what I speculate, that's what I suspect. With New Jersey, I think it might be the same thing as well, because she has a fantastic resume, she's beautiful, and she was okay on stage. So for her not to place and people like Hawaii to place over her, it shows maybe the judges don't think she's sincere and really just don't see her as Miss USA material at all. So that's very surprising. I was sad that Texas wasn't there, but I wasn't sad, even though I predicted her, I wasn't sad that New Jersey wasn't there. There was always something about her I wasn't a fan of. I'm seeing online people are surprised Georgia wasn't there. Like, I really don't understand. I feel like you guys don't even understand MUO and what they're going for, this pageant system. It's not about who has the prettiest face, it's not about who's the most glamorous, it's about who's the most well-rounded individual, who has all of everything, who has stage presence and who's glamorous, but who also has depth, who has some things that they've done in their life that has helped other people, who cares about the world. All those things matter to become Miss Teen USA, Miss USA, Miss Universe. Those things matter. It's not just about being glamorous. Second of all, when it comes to being glamorous, Miss Georgia on stage was not good. You cannot argue that she had presence during the preliminary competition. She looked shy, she looked timid, and she wasn't as confident as some of the other contestants like Florida, like Pennsylvania. They were much more confident. Another thing is, if you've heard Georgia speak in interviews, I think her name is Katarina, if you've heard her speak in interviews, she doesn't come across as confident. She doesn't come across as sure of what she's saying. And if you're not confident, if you're not sure what you're saying or what you're about, you cannot be Miss USA, because that is what Miss USA does. She does speaking engagements. She has to talk to people, convey messages, connect with people on a deeper level. And she just was not able to do that simply in interviews. So I am perplexed as to why people thought she would place. She was never going to place. So that was not a surprise. I was surprised not to see West Virginia, and I was surprised not to see Massachusetts, who I was really rooting for. So those were disappointments. But all in all, I was happy with the top 15, except for Iowa and Hawaii. But I was happy with them, and I was happy with the swimsuit round. It was really at a high level. So then it was time to announce the top 15. I mean the top 10, not the top 15. So the top 10 were Arkansas, Ohio, Kansas, North Carolina, DC, New Mexico, Maryland, Florida, Nevada, and Oklahoma. And it was pretty close to my top 10. I had NC, DC, New Mexico, Maryland, Florida, Nevada, Ohio, and Kansas. I had 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. So I'm proud of myself. Yay! And you can check my previous prediction video. I'll put the link in the description box. So yeah, no, that was great. Great top 10. Loved Nick Lachey singing The Way You Look Tonight. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. I loved that they walked the whole runway. I loved that they didn't do the 2 poses at the end, just the 1 pose, and then they went and stood at the side. It was so classy. It was so elegant. No, it was a really good production, a really good runway. And I was so nervous, like who's gonna make the top 5. I think Kansas looked incredible. Just the way she looked in prelims, she looked fantastic. Maryland was amazing. What I found interesting was that we had New Mexico come out in yellow, and she looked good. Like, she worked the dress well, especially when she was standing at an angle. When she's standing straight to the camera like that, the dress doesn't look so nice, but at an angle it looks good. And it was beautiful, bright yellow. But then straight after, Maryland came with her yellow dress, her beaded yellow dress. That dress is so gorgeous. I loved how she did her hair. She was fantastic, and she looked better to me. And then we had Florida come out in a white dress, and it was even better than prelims, because I think they changed the front panel a little bit, widened it up, so it looked much more flattering, and she worked it really well. And then after her came Nevada in a white dress, and so you could compare them side by side, and I think that Florida looked better. But anyway, everyone was fantastic in there. And then the top 5 was New Mexico, North Carolina. Oh yeah, North Carolina performed amazingly well at swimsuit. Her body is fantastic. Her confidence is great. And then when it came to evening gown, I love the white dress on her. I love the simplicity, because it shows her off. You're not thinking about the dress, you're thinking about her, and you remember her rather than the dress. Nevada, and I was surprised by Nevada making top 5, but I was very happy for her, and she seemed so overwhelmed and happy to be there, so that was nice. Oklahoma looked incredible in that dress. Wow, she looked amazing. And then Arkansas, I was not happy about Arkansas making it. For some reason, I'm just not a fan of hers at all. To me, she looks so much older than her age. She's 24. She could be 38 to me. So I don't know, there's just a vibe about her I didn't like. So I was like, oh, I wish Kansas had made it. So I got 2 out of 5. I got New Mexico and North Carolina in my top 5, and they made it to the top 5. So that was good. By the way, I'm reading on this. So then the questions came. New Mexico, she did well. North Carolina, she did well. Nevada stumbled a little bit. What was Nevada's question? I think it was on gun control. That was a difficult question. I think she was surprised by it, and she started well, and then it got a little bit funny, and then she got stumbled in her words, but she seemed sincere, and I think it was overall a good answer. And then for a very controversial issue, but at the same time, it's an issue that we would have thought about many times. So, like, everyone has an opinion on gun violence and gun control. So it's not as if it's something you've never thought about before. So it was a easy question in that regard. And then Oklahoma, can't remember her question, but I remember she did very well. Arkansas was okay, but it was so nice to see that the strongest were North Carolina, New Mexico, and Oklahoma, and then they were eventually the top three. And what was exciting about it is that I didn't know who was going to win. Like, it could have been any three of them. So the question round, the final word was very important, because I think that the crown belonged to either of them. So the question was, what word would you use to describe millennials? And why would you use that word? Okay, who was first? North Carolina, excellent answer. Precise answer, genuine answer, fantastic. I couldn't fault it. Then came Oklahoma, who did not answer the question. Now, the thing what happened with Oklahoma, and it happened a little bit with New Mexico, is that when you are in a pageant and they ask you questions, the best way to answer is to try to bring it to something personal about yourself. Make it unique to you so that your answer stands out, instead of just giving a generic answer that anybody else could have given. So that's what Oklahoma was trying to do, but in doing so, she didn't answer the question. She answered the question and she said diverse, and that's what I would use to describe Americans. That was not the question. It was, what word would you use to describe millennials, not Americans? And she used diverse. Why did she choose that word? Because she wanted to talk about herself, and she wanted to talk about her diverse background of being mixed with white, black, and what was it? Chickasaw. And for me, that was so like, come on, that is not the question. You don't have to bring up the fact that you're mixed in every single answer. And then so before that, I was like happy if any of them won. But when she gave that answer about being mixed, about being all three things, and I'm a black woman, I'm Caucasian, I'm Chickasaw, I'm everything, I was like, okay, I don't want her to win, because I cannot deal with a whole year of somebody talking about their mixed heritage. That is not the most interesting thing about you. That is not the most important thing about you. You don't have to bring it into every conversation. We heard in your package, and I loved the packages that they did. They were really short, because sometimes I feel like they've been too long. They were short, precise, lovely. She spoke about being mixed in her package. That was enough. You don't have to speak about it again. We get it. Speak about something else and answer the question. She didn't answer the question. New Mexico, I loved her word impactful, but then I felt like then her answer just tapered off somewhere. So for me, after it, I thought the best was North Carolina, followed by by New Mexico, and then followed by Oklahoma. So when Oklahoma was called as second runner-up, I was very happy. And then when North Carolina won, I did not predict it to win. I predicted in my top 5, but not to win. My winners are always between New Mexico and Texas, but leaning more to Texas. But when she won, I was so happy for her. I am so happy. Black girl magic in full effect. It's amazing. It's incredible. And I'm just so proud of MUO for just going for who was the best. She's 28 years old, so she's like, that's the cutoff age. And I love how that doesn't matter. And she's going to Miss Universe, and she has a fantastic chance at Miss Universe. She's going to be an incredible Miss USA. What an amazing winner. Yeah, so proud of her. All the racist comments, all the hatred, please do not bring it to my channel. And anyone who is against a black winner, you know, I hope you step on a Lego, honestly. I mean, she was an incredible winner, and New Mexico would have been great as well. A whole lot of them would have been great. I think Maryland would have been great. I think Kansas would have been great, but North Carolina is the one. And congratulations, and we'll see you at Miss Universe.